there's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Let's talk on a higher level. Put me in the grave, forgot to go out and buy a shovel. Rituals, Wicca, and witchcraft on the highest level. All that divination, never step up to God level. All of the artists that y'all Geppetto were all devils. I just wasn't going for that cause I'm all rebel.
Hey, shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakah Kwadash, double honors to the apostles, elders, great millstone, sincere shalom to the hopeful elect. We're going to make this lesson real quick because I'm getting ready to head out to camp, but I figured I'd, finish this lesson off before I do so while the spirit is on me. So the title of this lesson is Your Favorite Celebrity Has Compromised Their Soul. Okay. And this is a reoccurring topic that we always touch on. All right. Over here within the body of Yahweh Shai. Okay. Because a lot of these celebrities, all right, especially the real famous ones, all right, the majority of them are Israelites. OK, so they can be used as a good example of what happens when you allow the devil to entice you with fame, money, and riches, and you're willing to do anything for it. OK, now I was watching this video last night with this guy, Terrence Howard. And Terrence Howard, he's a famous actor. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about him. All right. Because he's been in a lot of classic movies. Good actor, too. But, the clip you just watched was basically him breaking down how a lot of these celebrities, okay, especially male celebrities, have compromised their soul and their manhood, all right, to receive the fame, money, and status that they have. All right. And now what does it mean by their manhood? Meaning that they've engaged in homosexual activity. OK, to be rewarded fame in this world. All right. And it's so bad that, a lot of these male celebrities, they've actually literally bent over, okay, and, let these powerful musical execs, all right, let these powerful people in the entertainment industry sodomize them from the back, all right, facts, man, okay, they actually bend over and, let a man let them niggas run up in them like a woman, okay, and Terrence Howard, in this video, he's basically saying once you've done that, all right, you have thrown away your manhood. Okay. And you have, pretty much your soul is, now in like a dark abyss. Okay. And we've been telling you that, these celebrities, man, they're nothing to look up to. Okay. Yeah. Our people, they might have some talent. They might be able to make a great R&B rap album. They might be on, the television, dunking basketballs and throwing touchdowns. But a lot of these motherfuckers is just some nasty scoundrels behind the scenes, man. Okay. And they ain't nothing to be influenced by. They ain't nothing to, you shouldn't look at their life and covet after the things that they have, because that's a known thing amongst our people. You got a lot of Jakes that are up and coming, that want to be rappers, that want to be R&B singers, that want to be actors. Okay. And then they look at their favorite celebrity and they say to themselves, I want to be just like him. You know what I'm saying? But they're ignorant to the path that it took. All right. For those celebrities to get to that point, man. All right. They have no idea that, once you start rubbing shoulders with these Hollywood moguls, okay, they're going to ask you to do something strange for a little piece of change, man. All right. Because they have to compromise you, man. You have to understand the entertainment industry, the rap industry. All right. All of that is centered around Satan. It's centered around the worship of Satan. That's why these celebrities, you see them, they're constantly throwing up little symbols. They're constantly wearing Baphomet chains and bracelets and rings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They do a lot of satanic shit. All right. And, it's pretty blatant. They do it so much that, it's blatant at this point. Only those that are really, really asleep are not going to be able to see it. But to us that are in the know, it's blatant. All right. The level of sorcery and witchcraft that these celebrities are working with, man. OK. And then so you got a Jake that want to, he covered after that lifestyle. All right. And then he covered after it so much. His desire to be rich and famous is so strong that, once he gets to that point, all right, they ask him to cross that line. OK. A lot of Jakes just go ahead and do it, man. All right. They bend over the counter and let a motherfucker sodomize him from the back, man. That's what P. Diddy was doing. And that's what Terrence Crawford. That's not Terrence Crawford, Terrence Howard in this video. That's what he talking about. All right. He talking about how P. Diddy was always trying to pretty much seduce him into doing some sexual activity with him. All right. And P. Diddy, he was a gatekeeper. All right. He was a gatekeeper for up and coming artists and actors and just anybody who wanted to be rich and famous. P. Diddy was a gatekeeper. OK. All right. You got to let P. Diddy fuck. And then you'll get your opportunity. OK. And P. Diddy ain't the only gatekeeper. All right. There's many other gatekeepers. OK. But this is what it is, man. All right. This is what it is. The whole entertainment industry is about turning you out. All right. They want to turn you out so that way you can push an influence that turns everybody else out. OK. Now, another thing that he was mentioning was, how a lot of these celebrities, they be on drugs and they got a lot of tattoos. Pretty much they come into the industry one way, and, they look innocent. And then fast forward unto present time, motherfuckers look like junkies, man. All right. Let me show you an example. All right. Let's get I got two examples, man. Let's get Justin Bieber before and after. OK. Because apparently I heard a story about Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber got sodomized by Diddy and his two sons. OK. All right. That was something I heard from a reputable source. Okay. So, yeah. So this is P. Diddy. I mean, this is Justin Bieber. This is him when he first came into the industry. Let me try to, God damn it. Okay. So this is just on the left. That's Justin Bieber when he first came into the industry. You see, he looks a little innocent. You know what I mean? He looked like, he's new to the game. You know, he's fresh fish. You know what I'm saying? He still had that innocent look on him. He smiled a lot. You know what I mean? You could kind of see the sparkle in his eyes. You know what I mean? That's because he was probably excited to get involved. All right. And he had no idea what the industry was going to require of him, man. OK, here's another picture of him on the left. And then that's him on the right. Two completely different people, man. Look at his eyes right here. OK, full of life. You see, excited. Look at him now. He dead. OK, he's dead on the inside. All right. And that's because they have used and abused this man to the point of no return, man. Now he's on drugs. He's probably on therapy, constantly in rehab. All right. He lost his manhood, like the video say. Let's get another one. Chris Brown. All right. OK, Chris Brown before and after. You see? Look at Chris Brown when he first came in. Hang on. Because I remember when Chris Brown first came into the industry. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was a little innocent, light-skinned nigga that knew how to sing, man. Knew how to sing and dance. You know what I mean? Fast forward now, he got a whole bunch of tattoos. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's been compromised, man. All right? These niggas have been compromised, man. And the fucked up thing is once you get involved in this entertainment industry, all right, and you sell your soul to it, all right, they hurt you, they damage your soul, and then they force you to damage other people's soul. So you become a gatekeeper yourself. So you went from, being sodomized, right, and being, coerced to give up your manhood, being coerced to, do abominations. Now they put the responsibility in your hands to recruit other ignorant, misfortunate come-ups, and you got to do the same to them, man. All right. It's a wicked, satanic industry, man. OK, very, very evil. OK, with that being said, let's get some scriptures. This is Matthew 4 in verse 8. It says, again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain. All right. And this is dealing with, the spiritual demon Satan and our Lord Yahushai. OK, when you go into the story, basically Satan tried to tempt the Lord at his weakest moment when he was fasting. All right. And that's what Satan does to these up and coming artists, these up and coming musicians and actors, basically anybody who wants to be rich and famous. OK, Satan comes at them at their weakest moment when they don't have any money. All right. When they got to pay bills. OK, so then they compromise themselves. They they sacrifice their dignity, listening to Satan. All right. And then they end up destroyed in the end. It says, I'm going to read it again. It says, again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. So basically, Satan, showed the Lord all of the fame and the riches. OK, and basically everything that he could offer him in this world. All right, because Satan, he has the power to make things shift in this world. All right. And, Satan has his influence on a lot of high profile demonic characters of this world. And, he could pretty much cause somebody He can influence somebody to give you a phone call and offer you a record deal. You know, he can influence somebody to, you know, give you a call and tell you that you're going to be the star actor in this new hit movie coming out. OK, but it all be coming from Satan, because Satan has the ability to control opportunities that can result in you being rich and famous, but you're going to lose your soul in the end. Like it says in this next verse, it says, and saith unto him, all these things will I give unto thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Yeah, so the only way you're going to be rich and famous in this world, you're going to have to bow down and worship Satan, man. Okay, and that comes with, just like Terrence Howard said, sacrificing your manhood. All right, and also doing satanic rituals. Okay, I could name things. All right, but you know, they might flag this video. All right, so we'll just keep it at that. Okay, we'll just keep it at that. You got that movie called Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise. Okay, Tom Cruise, he goes to a mansion party. All right. And, you know, people always talk about online about these Hollywood mansion parties. All right. How a whole bunch of celebrities be freaking off inside of them parties. OK, but in the movie, Tom Cruise goes to a mansion party in the hills with the high profile people of this world. All right. And it was nothing but sex, drugs, and the worshiping of Satan up in there. OK, so, yeah, you have to worship Satan. OK, if you want to have some sort of accolade in this world, you want to have a large achievement, you know, to where you could be rich and famous, you got to worship Satan, man. All right. And a lot of our people, they don't want to take the humble route and worship Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai because, you know, you're not going to have all of the riches. All right. You're not going to be famous. You're not going to, you know, have a whole bunch of money to splurge. OK, you're going to live a very simple life. OK, because ultimately we're waiting for our time to come up in the kingdom of heaven. All right. We're waiting on Yahushai to exalt us. We're not taking no goddamn quick fix, you know, and trying to satisfy our lust, you know, and do it the fast way and go worship Satan. And then you know, your goddamn rectum gets compromised, man. OK, a lot of these celebrities, all right, that have engaged in homosexual activity, okay, they're rotten pieces of shit, all right, to sacrifice their dignity, all right, sacrifice their manhood for that punk ass shit, man. Okay, you getting it from the devil, man. You know, it's not going to be a happy ending. Okay, it's not going to be a happy ending. All right, let me go ahead and read this. This is Exodus 23, starting at verse 32. It says, thou shalt make no covenant with them nor with their gods. OK, and when you get into Hollywood, all right, and you let them devils convince you that the only way you're going to receive X amount of money, the only way, you know, we'll put you on the radio station. You know what I mean? You'll have the number one hit song on the billboards. The only way that could happen is if you engage in homosexual activity. OK, if you do that, you are serving, OK, different gods. All right. You are serving a different God, man, because our Lord, you know, he forbids us to engage in homosexual activity. That's an abomination, man. All right. That's an abomination. The Lord is he looks at that lifestyle as sick and disgusting. OK, and especially if you do it in the name of Satan, you're even worse. OK, you're even worse. So these celebrities that have participated in that, man. OK, you got to understand, man, they're fully in allegiance with the spiritual demon Satan. All right. Aleister Crowley. OK, look him up. Aleister Crowley. All right. they called him the most wickedest man to ever live. Okay. And he was a raw Satanist. He actually taught, he was the mentor for Anton LaVey. Anton LaVey is the individual that created the Church of Satan. So Anton LaVey, all right, he was influenced by Aleister Crowley. That should tell you how wicked Aleister Crowley is. Okay, but Aleister Crowley said in a quote, homosexuality is one of the biggest forms of witchcraft. Okay, homosexual activity, all right, is one of the top 3 forms of witchcraft. You see? So, you got these guys that are getting into the industry, getting their manhood taken. Okay, they're doing witchcraft. All right. They've pledged their allegiance to Satan. And the Lord just said in this verse, don't make any covenants with these heathens. Don't make any deals or agreements. OK, because this will happen. Verse 33, it says, they shall not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against me. Yeah. And that's all Esau, Edom has done. All right. You got to understand in these, these record labels. OK, they are spearheaded by Esau, Edom. OK, the small hats. All right. The Israelis. OK, those are the people that control the entertainment industry, man. All right. Look up the owner of the NBA, a small hat demon. OK, and they have made our people to sin against them, and they have enticed our people with fame and riches. OK, but that blame is on our people that let themselves be enticed. OK, because they're the ones that signing the contract. And now they're in a revolving cycle of death. Look at Kanye West, man. Kanye West, they didn't completely fry that nigga's mind to Kentucky Fried Chicken, man. OK, he's finished. All right. But that's the results of making covenants with these devils. All right. Making doing agreements and signing contracts and, and worshiping Satan, man. That's what happens. It says, for if thou serve their gods, it will surely be a snare unto thee. OK, and snare means trap. Yeah, these guys that have gotten their manhoods taken in the entertainment industry. OK, they're trapped up, because once you do that, you really can't come back, man. All right. They got you. All right. There's even reports that, once they take a lot of them dudes' manhoods, they always put it on camera. You see? So, they taken let's just say, for instance, Chris Brown, he get his manhood taken by one of them high profile industry moguls. OK, and little do Chris Brown know they got his ass on camera. So if he ever want to buck up, he ever want to, think he going to leave the game. All right. Think he ain't going to participate anymore. All right. They'll threaten him and blackmail him with that camera footage of him getting his manhood taken and post that on social media through a fucking ghost account, man. This is really what's going on, man. All right. These people that have done this, OK, our people that have done this shit, they're trapped. OK, all sorts of contracts and litigations that they can't break. They're trapped. All right. They're in a revolving cycle of death, man. OK. That's why it's better to live a simple life and serve the Lord. And that's what our Lord Yahushua did when he got offered all of them kingdoms and the glory of this world by the devil. OK. He rejected it, and he told Satan, get the fuck up out of here. OK, trying to tempt me. OK, so Yahushua, he had the opportunity to strike it big, but he said, nah, I'm going to live a simple life and do this work, man. OK, for that is the whole duty of man. OK, serve the Lord, fear the Lord, and do his commandments. OK, and one of the Lord's commandments is to have faith unto the end, no matter what circumstance you're in. OK, so with that, we'll go ahead and give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Shalom, shalom.